You won't believe what's brewing right now. A shocking trade could completely shake up the NFL, and it involves one of the Raiders' most promising young players. That's right, a rising star in the silver and black could soon be wearing black and gold. According to multiple insider whispers, the Pittsburgh Steelers are eyeing a major move to strengthen their roster, and guess who's caught in the middle? Before we dive into this breaking news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and hit that bell icon, so you never miss any fresh Raiders updates. Alright, let's get into it. The Las Vegas Raiders and Pittsburgh Steelers are reportedly in serious talks ahead of the 2025 NFL trade deadline. The Steelers, fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive, are desperate for help on the offensive line. Meanwhile, the Raiders, already shifting focus toward the future, may be ready to move a few key pieces. And one name that keeps coming up: Jackson Powers Johnson. Only 22 years old, the former Oregon standout was drafted in the second round of 2024 to become a cornerstone for the Raiders' offense. But things haven't gone as planned. With Pete Carroll now leading the team, the entire blocking scheme has changed, and Powers Johnson, who played most of his college career at center, has struggled to adjust. He even lost his starting spot in Week 7 against the Chiefs, a move that stunned many around the league. According to NFL analyst Josh Liskitz, Powers Johnson fits the Steelers' style perfectly: young, tough, and versatile. And that's exactly the kind of player Pittsburgh is looking for right now. So stay with me, because this situation could explode into one of the biggest mid-season trades we've seen in years. Analysts are calling this a move that makes perfect sense for both sides. Jackson Powers Johnson is exactly the kind of player the Steelers have been searching for, someone who can step in at center or guard and instantly provide stability where it's most needed. The Steelers' offensive line has been shaky this season. Veteran guard Isaac Seumalo went down with a chest injury against Green Bay, and although he's expected to return, his condition remains uncertain. That uncertainty has pushed Pittsburgh to explore every possible option, and Powers Johnson's mix of strength, versatility, and football IQ has quickly made him a top target. From the Raiders' point of view, this move could also make a lot of sense. Yes, they used a high draft pick to bring him in, but if he's not part of Pete Carroll's long-term system, flipping him for a mid-round draft pick could help Las Vegas build for the future. The Raiders are already eyeing other areas that need depth, especially at wide receiver, where internal competition is heating up. But don't get it twisted, Powers Johnson's potential is real. Many scouts still believe he can develop into a dependable NFL starter, and a fresh start might be all he needs to finally reach that next level. Meanwhile, the Steelers have a reputation for molding offensive linemen into steady, reliable contributors. Their coaching staff reportedly loves Johnson's raw strength and high football intelligence, believing he could thrive in their system almost immediately. One insider summed it up perfectly: the Raiders aren't selling, they're restructuring. Trading Powers Johnson wouldn't signal defeat, it would show that Las Vegas is thinking smart, managing assets wisely, and positioning itself to compete more consistently by 2026. The trade deadline is closing in fast, and with both sides having clear motivation, this deal might be closer than anyone expects. So stay with me, because this story is far from over. While the Steelers are busy trying to fix their offensive line, another name from Las Vegas is quietly making headlines, and this one could shake the trade market even more. Wide receiver Jakobi Meyers is suddenly in the spotlight, with multiple teams showing serious interest. The Raiders may have stayed quiet publicly this offseason, but behind the scenes, the phone lines have been anything but silent. According to Diana Rossini of The Athletic, both the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills have already reached out to explore a potential trade for Meyers. And here's where things get even more interesting. Reports suggest that Meyers himself requested a trade earlier this season. Now, the Raiders aren't exactly eager to let him go. But they've made their stance clear: they'll only move him if the offer is right. Sources say Las Vegas wants at least a third-round pick, maybe more. Anything less simply doesn't make sense, considering they could still get a compensatory pick if Meyers walks in free agency. That demand shows just how much value Meyers still holds inside the organization. Last season, he was one of the Raiders' most dependable weapons, putting up some of the best numbers of his career. But this year, things feel different. With Pete Carroll taking over as head coach and Geno Smith leading the offense, the system has shifted toward a faster, more explosive style, one that highlights the younger receivers. And that's where Trey Tucker enters the picture. The 2023 draft pick has been one of the biggest surprises of the season. At just 23, he's leading the team with standout performances and building real chemistry with Geno Smith. His speed and explosiveness have turned heads not only in Las Vegas, but across the entire league. So while all eyes are on Meyers' potential move, the rise of Trey Tucker might just be changing how the Raiders view their future receiving core. Stay with me, because what's coming next could completely reshape this team's direction. Coach Pete Carroll didn't hold back when talking about Trey Tucker. "He's been our most efficient player," Carroll said. "We expected him to be a deep threat, and he's been that and a whole lot more." Wide receivers coach Chris Beatty backed that up, saying, "Trey works like a veteran. He studies every detail, wants to improve every single day, and brings the same intensity to every rep." Even quarterback Geno Smith couldn't stop praising the young receiver. When asked about Tucker, Geno smiled and said, "That kid's a problem. He's running 32 miles an hour in practice, no exaggeration. He practices faster than anyone I've ever seen." That kind of energy and connection is changing the entire rhythm of the Raiders' offense, and it might also explain why Jakobi Meyers could be looking for a way out. His targets have dropped, his production has slowed, and the chemistry between Smith and Tucker has taken center stage. But make no mistake, Meyers hasn't lost his value. Teams like Pittsburgh and Buffalo still view him as a proven, reliable receiver who runs crisp routes and brings veteran composure to any offense chasing a playoff push. Still, Las Vegas isn't acting out of desperation. Pete Carroll and the Raiders front office are taking a smart, patient approach. They won't trade Meyers unless another team meets their price. This isn't about giving players away, it's about building a long-term identity for the silver and black. And as the trade rumors swirl, the team can't afford to lose focus on what's coming next. After the bye week, the Raiders return to action in a huge home showdown against the Jacksonville Jaguars at Allegiant Stadium. It's their first test of the second half of the season, and it might reveal exactly which players are ready to step up and lead this team forward. So stay with me, because this next game could tell us everything about where the Raiders are truly headed. But here's the twist that could change everything. The Jacksonville Jaguars will be without one of their biggest stars, Travis Hunter, who went down with an injury during practice last week. And that absence might just be the biggest advantage the Raiders have had all season. Hunter isn't just another name on the roster, he's a game changer. His unique ability to impact both defense and offense has made him the heart of Jacksonville's strategy. Without him, the Jaguars lose a vital piece on both sides of the ball, and that opens the door wide for Las Vegas. This matchup could be a real turning point for the Raiders' offense. Geno Smith and Trey Tucker have been building strong chemistry over the past few games, and now, without Hunter controlling the secondary, the deep passing game could finally explode. Expect offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb to attack early, testing Jacksonville's backup cornerbacks with Tucker's blazing speed and Jakobi Meyers' precise routes to stretch the field. Coach Pete Carroll addressed Hunter's absence earlier this week, saying, "They lose at least 1.5 players when he's out. He's a dynamic weapon, but it doesn't change our mindset. We'll attack whoever they put out there." That's the mentality the Raiders need right now. This isn't the time to play safe, it's time to go all in. After a full week of preparation, this game is the perfect moment to unleash their key playmakers and prove that their work is finally paying off. And it all starts up front. The offensive line, whether Jackson Powers-Johnson remains part of it or not, must give Geno Smith enough time to let those big plays develop. If they do, the Raiders could finally find the offensive rhythm that's been missing all year. Stay with me, because what happens in this game could define the rest of their season. But the key to victory isn't just on offense, it's on the defensive side too. With Travis Hunter out, Jacksonville's offense loses its unpredictability. Without his dynamic presence to stretch the field and create mismatches, the Jaguars suddenly become much easier to read. That's where Max Crosby and the Raiders' pass rush come in. This is their golden opportunity to make an impact from the very first snap, to pressure the quarterback, force mistakes, and set the tone early. Coach Pete Carroll has been stressing one message all week: discipline. He wants cleaner football, fewer penalties, sharper tackling, and better execution. "We had time to regroup," Carroll said. "Now it's time to execute, finish drives, and show what we're really capable of. We've shown flashes, now we need to put it all together." This matchup is about more than just getting a win. It's about identity, proving that the Raiders can adapt, stay focused, and dominate when the moment demands it. This is where the team defines who they are and what direction they're heading in. So now the big question goes to you, Raiders fans: should Las Vegas trade Jackson Powers-Johnson or Jakobi Meyers to build for the future? Or should they hold the roster together and chase a statement win against the Jaguars this weekend? Share your thoughts, and stay with me, because the next update could change everything for the Silver and Black.